I might have ruined my entire life with this one single decision. No, this is not just a regular sob story. This isn't me trying to gain pity. This is me trying to tell you all my story of how I found out what I really want to do with my life and broke free from societal expectations. Throughout high school, like any other Asian student, I was often told that I would become either a computer scientist and go into coding and computer science or join med school and become a doctor. And for a long time, I convinced myself that I was going to become a very successful cardiovascular surgeon or anesthesiologist. Fast forward to high school, I realized that that was not the case. I was excelling in my classes and I was doing fairly well in my STEM related classes. Don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't what my heart was calling out to. And every time I would try to explain this to my parents, my Indian parents, you could probably expect the response. How are you going to be financially stable? How are you going to secure a future? How are you going to take care of yourself and your kids in the future? While these are all extremely valid points, don't get me wrong, I just needed to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was sure the money would come with it. From a young age, I've been extremely passionate about film, and I have written countless, countless letters to myself, addressing myself, dear future Janisha, dear future self. I really hope you pursued your dream of becoming an actress and pursuing film. And every time I go back and I read those letters, a small part of me breaks knowing that I haven't done anything to further that dream because I've been so scared of what people in my school are gonna think, everyone in my school being so super STEM oriented, what my parents are gonna think, what my school's gonna think. Can I really make a living if I go into arts, if I go into theater? There was just years, not months, but years of just this constant back and forth. And there were moments where I remember I would literally cry myself to bed, scared that I would end up making a choice that's permanent that I would regret for the rest of my life. But what I realized in high school is that I had discovered a passion that I never knew I had. And that passion came when I joined my school's Model UN Club. I realized I was extremely passionate about international affairs and politics. It was just a natural connection. There's no other way to explain it. If you guys have heard the saying, if you know, you know, that's genuinely what this moment was. I started to fall in love with politics. I started to fall in love with law and what the field has to offer. Then I was super conflicted between should I go into film and acting or should I go into law? Engineering and doctor and computer scientist, these were completely off the table at this point. Now that I've presented my parents with these two new options of law and film, obviously they were leaning towards law. And I was like, okay, you know what? At least they're accepting one of my two options. This really goes to show that your path towards what you really want to pursue in the future, it could be so unexpected. Your future is filled with so many surprises, and you are still discovering so many parts of yourself that you didn't even know were there. So it's extremely important to just be gentle with yourself, be forgiving, because this is your first time living too. And this was a matter of years that it's taken me to even get to the point of realizing, okay, these are my two things that I kind of want to pursue. Senior year, I'm applying to colleges. I have applied for almost political science and legal studies to every single college, obviously on the pre law track. But still, even then, throughout the entire college application process, a part of my heart was just genuinely empty. And I didn't know why. But then I realized that I really wanted to go to film school. And how could I tell my parents? How could I tell my Indian parents I want to go to film school and this is what I want to pursue? So I end up applying for a pre-law major to all my colleges. It's second semester senior year now. All my acceptances have come out and I have made a promise to myself that I will be either double majoring or still exploring drama and film in some sort of way. I refuse to let go of that part of my passion. My overall message is that it might take you months, it might take you years. You might have to argue against every single person in your life to really understand what it is that you want because this is your life. But in the end of the day, it's not going to be a clear path. It's not going to be an easy straight road, but it's possible and you will get there. So just be patient.